up in like a minute.
A minute?
Not a minute, like, you know.
Well,
we're basically live. We're live.
Are we live?
Yep.
If you can hear us on Twitch, give us a thumbs up in the comments, not in real life, because we can't see you. You can only see us.
Yeah, I think we are like a few seconds delayed.
Yo. I got a yo.
Yeah, they see us.
Okay.
We're live, okay.
Okay, thumbs up. Okay, excellent.
Thumbs up. There you go. There's thumbs up.
All right. Well, I have no idea how many people we have in the chat, but...
we have 5.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? That's more than the 2 of us and Director Choi, so...
That's
so
all we could ask for.
We're going to... So for those of you guys watching now, since obviously we are going to be recording this for our podcast also, we're just going to do our normal intro, so this is a little preamble that you're going to get for free. Only your time, and you won't get a refund on that. This is... You're using it now. You never get no refunds.
You can, no buybacks.
That's right. No buy. There's no buyback in Dominaria, just kicker.
Is there? Is there kicker?
Yes.
Is that confirmed?
Yes, absolutely. The mechanics article came out yesterday.
All right.
Where is this? Where's this guy been?
Under a rock, apparently.
That's right. But you know what? You got both Magic stories. Okay. Arlie, you ready to go?
I'm ready. Are we good?
Yep.
All right. Let me get Audacity going. All right. So I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, and click.
Right, I thought we already did that.
All right. Well, we did. I'm just going 3, 2, 1.
Wait. So we're good.
I guess we can start. Whenever.
I'm recording.
I'm recording. I have Audacity going too.
Okay, good. Then just we're
okay,
good.
I guess we're good. Okay.
A look into behind the scenes of the struggles it takes to get the show started every week.
Because of Ali.
Well, that's your words, not mine.
All
But
right.
yes, that's true. All right, you ready?
I'm good.
All right. Hey guys, welcome back to Thinktwice, the weekly show we talk about things going on in the world of Magic the Gathering, gaming, and pop culture. For episode 36, I'm your host, Justin Parnell, joined by my co-host, live for the first time, Ali Aintrazi. You gotta talk,
hello.
too.
I can't talk. I said hello.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream.
We want to thank everyone who is watching us live, and of course, if you're not watching us live and you're watching at a later date, either on YouTube or SoundCloud or iTunes, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, we can go back to our the Patreon support level. We're able to do these live shows every once in a while, but this is our first one, and if things go well, not our last episode of the show ever, unless it just totally crashes.
Unless, I get... My graveyard gets exiled. Rest in peace,
Yeah, but then you
still
basically play stuff from your hand. I'm the graveyard guy, you're the hand guy.
No, I'm saying, what if he said nothing crazy happens? What if I, pass away tomorrow?
I'll probably keep doing the show in your honor.
Okay. All right. You're just like, it's okay. It's okay. You're gone.
That's what you would want. Does anyone know what you would want me to do? You want me to do the show in your honor? I would dedicate every episode to you.
I'd want you just to shut the show down, just quit, and be like, guys, we can't do it anymore. The world's gonna pause for Ali. Thinktwice is done.
Just everything? Just retire from all Magic in general?
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like you really would want the opposite.
I'd want that for at least today.
Okay, so maybe take a week off in honor.
A moment of silence.
And then start back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can also have a moment of silence for, and that is your sound defeat in the question of the week last week.
What's the sound?
Oh, it was a brutal, disgusting defeat. I'm surprised you even showed your face back on the podcast. I'm really expecting to do the show myself.
I think you got narrowly escaped.
Narrowly, that's your words again, not mine. So, the question of the week last week was, of course, we're back on Dominaria, and as we will get to later, we're going to find out more about the Raven Man. Ollie, I believed, and still continue to believe, that when we ultimately find out the identity of the Raven Man, it is going to be one that we do not know. And you, foolishly, believe that it will be a known character. you've made some guesses, some outlandish, crazy, wrong guesses.
No, they're gonna be. It's gonna be someone.
And as it turns out, the majority, the
oh my
absolute,
God.
the ridiculous majority of our viewers and listeners agree with me. A staggering 45% agreed with me that it will be someone that is unknown to us, and a lowly, barely above board 44%.
Yeah, 44 versus 45.
Well,
landslide.
It was a landslide.
It was an avalanche. Yep, you're right.
Look, in the day and age where you don't have to have the most votes to win something, I consider having more votes a landslide.
Well, can't I win even though I have less votes? Because that happened last a couple years ago.
Yeah, but you can't.
I can't do it. Okay.
On Thinktwice, we play
right.
by the rules.
Well, hold on. Let me double check. Yep, I'm still brown.
That's not what I meant, but anyway. Okay, so outside of losing the question of the week last week, how was your week? Why don't you fill me in?
My week is all right. I played some. What was last week? Oh, I got it. I remember now.
Okay, great.
Back
on track.
I played some the new hex set. Hex had a new set called Doombringer. I was streaming that. Then Saturday I went to a hippie festival that I had to work.
Okay.
All day.
Did you say a hippie festival?
A hippie festival.
Okay, great. Mm-hmm. There are people too.
Yeah, there are people. It was great. It was fun. I actually love hippie shows. It's like a lot of tangent because the customers are just so chill, man.
Well,
it's never like.
I mean, that's kind of their MO.
I know, but it's great. It's not like oh my god, you're charging so and so dollars for this. It's like, here you go, man. Also, here's a tip, bro. Like we didn't have a tip jar out, and some guy was like, hey man, you guys have no tip jar. Here's like $3. You want it? I'm like, yeah. Thank you. Like, thanks. Like,
I feel like if I were to do
great.
my hippie impression, it would sound a lot like the impression I do of your brother.
Well, he's basically kind of he's pretty hippie.
He is.
Yeah. And other than that, though, I played a lot of Hex. I've been streaming a lot of Hex. Dreambringer is an excellent set. It's basically like Ravnica block.
Oh, now you're pulling all of our heartstrings.
No, it is. It's like it's their first multicolored set, prismatic set, which is their multicolor set. So drafting it has just been so fun. I've drafted like 4 or 5 times. Each time I've been 5 color good stuff.
Okay,
it's just been fun. It's just been fun. Yeah, I've gotten run over like a couple times by like just a hyper aggro deck or whatever, but otherwise it's been pretty cool. I've enjoyed it a lot.
Awesome.
What about you?
So those of you that have listened to the show before, know me in person, know that I am a very big college basketball fan, and particularly a Duke Blue Devils fan. I have been for the entirety of my life, even before I was born. I'm from North Carolina. And a lot of people from North Carolina, when you're born, you are a North Carolina Tar Heels fan or a Duke Blue Devil fan, and you don't choose. So it wasn't chosen for me. It was chosen for me. I didn't choose it, but this is the life that I've lived, and we had a good week. Not only did Duke advance to the Sweet 16 in dominating fashion, both Virginia, who was a #1 overall seed, and Carolina, who was a #2 seed, both lost in the weekend. When neither of them should have. It was pretty great. Yeah, I see someone in the comments saying "Go Tar Heels." Our director John Choi is also a Carolina fan, so you guys can both suck it.
All right, go Tar Heels.
Yeah, that's what I just said. That's what I just said.
No, I'm saying go Tar Heels.
You don't even know what that means. You don't even know.
I'm just saying. You know what? I'm just saying it. So I want to.
And a lot of people.
Now.
First of all, you're not. Second of all, I don't want people to be Duke fans. I'm fine with us being the villain. I want us to be the villain. I don't want anyone else to like us. We have enough. So you're fine. You can be Carolina fans. That's totally fine. Have it your own way. Anyway, we're still in the tournament. We have a good shot to advance to the Final Four this coming week, which I'm also very excited about. And hopefully go on to win a national championship. We have a very good squad this year. I try not to talk too much about sports on the podcast because we do all this other stuff. Movies, music, other games, Magic. And sports is, I think, the least crossover that we have with other stuff. But I'm always open to talk about sports. I follow college basketball, the NBA, and NFL, and a little bit of some other sports, but those are the 3 primary ones. So if you ever want to talk about sports, feel free to chat me up. And yeah, go Pack Go. I see someone else in the comments. Right on board with you. Okay. Ollie, anything else from this week before we move on to our first segment?
Nope.
Nothing?
I'm ready to go.
Okay. So normally this is where we would take a little break and, you know, I would fix my hair. Ollie would powder his nose, but instead we're just going to plow right through. So, Ollie, if you're ready, our first topic for today is something we could not talk about before today, which I feel like has been happening a lot recently. But the NDA for Magic the Gathering Arena, which is Magic's new digital game that allows you to play the game in a digital setting, sounds, you know, like a lot like Magic Online, and it kind of is, but it's not, because it's more like Hearthstone or Duels of the Planeswalkers, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, I played it for a hot second.
Or 1 hot second.
Literally 2 games.
Okay.
2 games, and they both ended with the first game. Ended. I played a creature.
Okay.
My opponent attacked me. I blocked. My opponent conceded.
Excellent.
I got some gold. Second game, I played a creature. My opponent played a creature. I played land and passed. My opponent played a second creature. I conceded.
Okay. Wow. So
that was it.
Magic in its purest form. So I've playing for, instead of 2 games, I've played the Magic Online Arena beta. Magic Online Arena. Magic the Gathering Arena beta for about 2 months.
You're old.
Well, I mean, I guess for a lot of people that are just seeing the game today, because this is, again, the first time the NDA dropping, I guess I've been playing it longer than a lot of people. It's not a lot as long as some. I know director Jonathan Choi has been playing it for about 4 months now, maybe even longer than that.
And all his work was erased.
Gone.
They erased all
and they
his hard
did, you know,
work.
and a lot of games like I started playing Hearthstone at the very end of the open beta, but in the open beta, no one's account got
chopped.
Yeah, that happened at the end of the closed beta, going into the open beta. So it's been interesting. This is the second time for me because I started. No, this is the first time my accounts got wiped because I came in right after, like as soon I was in the wave when Rivals of Ixalan was put on. So I've been playing since exactly when Rivals came out. So yeah, so for about 2 months.
Okay.
But I have a lot of thoughts that I've been saving up, and I'm sure you have some questions. So
I have a lot of questions.
excellent. All right, so let's get into it.
You want to start? Who's starting
I'll
first?
start first. I'll tell you what I know, and then any questions
All right, then I'll ask.
I don't have answer for you can ask. So one of the big things is the economy of the game, and ultimately this is something that's going to be the crux of whether this game is successful or not.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Magic Arena is not just competing with other games in the digital realm. Obviously, it's competing kind of directly with Hearthstone and Hex, but it's also competing with Magic Online, and it's also competing with card Magic, regular Magic. It's also competing with anything else you could use your time on.
It's weird because Magic has a civil war within itself almost with Magic Online in Arena.
It is getting ready to today. I think I don't think Paper and the other two are at too much of odds because Paper you have to have another person in front of you to play, and that's kind of to me that's kind of the magic, like lowercase m, the magic of Magic. Because
uppercase m.
Uppercase m, yeah, because it feels really different to physically sit down with someone and play, right? And with Magic Online and now Arena, you have the ability to sit in your underwear or less and play Magic with someone. Now, this has obviously been happening for the last 15 years because, you know, MTGO has been out for a long time. But obviously the reason that Magic Arena exists is because it needs to compete with these other games. Hearthstone, Hex, which have taken up a much larger share of the streaming marketplace and people's time than anything.
There's even more than that. There's like Eternal, Epic. There's so many of them.
Yeah, there's a lot, and Magic Online is trailing behind. I don't like Magic Online. I think it's a extremely unintuitive game to play. It feels not as much like Magic as I think it should. part of the reason I love Magic is because you envelop, into this world, right? And you can kind of make it what you want. And and Magic Online, it's like it's either really stuck in the past, like it has all the same noises from when the game launched 15 years ago, or it's
That's true.
or how most people play it, completely with no noise on a black background, when it's literally as cut and dry as possible. Like it's just functional to play the game.
It looks like it's from the 90s. Today,
it looks like it was from the year that it launched to today, which is what it is. So anyway, so I'm tangenting. But the economy in Arena is different than the economy in Magic Online because you don't trade cards. You can't buy cards. You can't sell cards.
Wait. Okay. I'll ask after.
You have what you have. You have a collection. Obviously, they give you free cards on this, and obviously there was an account wipe today, so I haven't even looked to see what's going on with the new update specifically. But you get new cards by opening booster packs. Every game you win for the first 30 games in a day gives you a card.
Okay.
And the card could be a common, it could be an uncommon, it could be a rare, it could be a mythic rare. And then
just a random roll?
Yeah, essentially.
What?
And then once you get a card, it's in your collection forever. You can't ever get rid of it. Like in a lot of other games, you can either sell stuff if there's like a full economy, or in a closed economy like Hearthstone, which is I think what a lot of people are going to compare this to. You can dust cards. You can't do that in this game. When you get a card, it's yours forever. Wild cards, which are cards of each rarity that you can redeem for any card in the game, go a long way to help this. But what I've found is it's slow. Playing for almost 2 months, I don't think I had a single optimized deck. That's also with them giving you 4 free packs every week. They're not doing this in this phase of the beta, but in the previous phase they give you 2 Ixalan, 2 Rivals of Ixalan packs every week. And even with that, I didn't have an optimized deck. And even with the Vault, which is something that you fill up whenever you get the 5th or more of a card in your collection, or you would. So like commons give you a 0.01% of the Vault, and when you get to 100, you can open it up and it gives you more wild cards and now some other random cards. But I found that it was just like in Hearthstone, you only need 2 of a card at most, and in Legendaries you only need 1. Now obviously you have a dusting system, but like, man, if you want to play Merfolk, which was one of the most popular, I would say one of the tier 1 decks in the kind of Rivals block constructed best of 1, you really needed 4 Kumenas, and that's 4 mythics. Now you don't need a lot of other mythics for that set, but that's also one of the most narrow decks you could make. Like, what if you want to make like a control deck, which ended up being my favorite deck? I made like this 4-color control deck, everything but red, and I had, ultimately had like a bunch of mythics and a bunch of rares because all of the lands are rares. So it really takes a long time to grind for these cards, and I'm concerned that that's going to turn people off. All right, questions about economy.
Yes, so like you basically you answered. The biggest one is you can't trade cards.
Yeah.
You can't dust cards. So like you said, you capped at 30 wins per day. Can you like let's say anyways, good.
You can so you have quests just like in most other games, and you get between 200 and 500 gold per quest. Now they don't have booster drafts in the game right now. Ultimately they will. But it costs 1,000 gold to get a booster pack. So essentially, let's say the average quest is 300 gold, and for your first win of the day you get 200 gold. So every other day basically, if you win if you win enough games to complete the quest, sometimes you can do it in like 2 games, I think is probably the average. That's a booster pack every other day from 4 matches played, which is not bad.
What are the quests wise, like, are they hard? Like, are they like play 10 more folk or deal 40 damage? Or
it's a lot.
What's
it's a lot like that. So the most common ones are there's one of every 2 color combinations. It's like win a game with a blue-white deck, or win 2 games with a blue-white deck, and you get 200 gold for that. There's one for 500 gold, which is like, in my opinion, the best one. It just says play 20 lands.
Okay.
You don't even have to win. And a lot of these other ones you don't have to win. It's like play 20 creatures, kill 10 of your opponent's creatures,
like those.
deal X damage. Yeah, so it's and it's nice because like so far the only ones that cause you to win are the ones that says win X games with an X deck. And those ended up being my least favorite. One, because they didn't award as much gold, and two, when they mean blue-white deck, they mean blue-white. They don't mean a Jeskai deck. They don't mean
Can
an
you
Abzan
reroll?
deck. You can reroll once a day. You can reroll one quest a day.
Okay. At least there's that.
Yeah, so I ended up rerolling
Those quests a lot.
those quests a lot. And then in place of the card, Joe, you get a random card after every win. You can also get a wild card. So like I've gotten like multiple like mythic rare wild cards after winning games, which feels super awesome because it's literally, and that's the good thing. It's like, what's the most expensive rare in standard right now? Like either Chandra or the Scarab God,
or Phoenix, yeah, sure.
or Rekindling Phoenix. Sure, those were actually two Rekindling Phoenix were the first two things I used my mythic wild cards on. Ironically, that card's really good. But a Rekindling Phoenix costs you the same currency in the game, which is one mythic wild card, as whatever the worst mythic rare, like Overwhelming Intellect, right?
Sure.
So there's some good and bad. One thing I noticed is the more cards you have in your collection, the more likely you are to get those fifth and sixth, fifth copies of stuff. So it goes to the vault. Well, when stuff goes to the vault, when you open the vault, you're going to get more wild cards and more cards to fill your collection. So it actually does kind of create this like rolling vault fill. Like the more full your collection is, the more full that the vault is going to get. Because as you get cards, it's like, okay, you get the fifth copy of a card. If it's the fifth copy of a rare, it's going to go into the vault and it counts for X percent.
Yeah.
Whenever you open a booster pack, you get more percent too. So you're really incentivized to just open a lot of packs, which is fine. And craft those wild cards, because the more you craft, the faster you're going to fill the vault up, which kind of gets you more.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the first time filled up takes a while, second time takes a while, but
it takes less
over time.
Every
It's
time.
lower and lower.
Yeah, it takes less every time.
All right, so let's say I'm a whale.
Okay,
which means you know whale is?
You spend a lot of money on the game. You're one of the people that spends a ton of money.
Let's say I work all the time. I work all the time, so I want to come home. I'm like, you know what? I don't have time to grind for 30 games to get packs. I just want to throw money at the game and get the deck I want and be able to play it. Can I do that as a whale?
Probably. Well, the answer is yes, ultimately, but today, no. They haven't added...
Today, no. Okay.
They haven't added real money transactions to the game, but that's coming really soon. Basically, and they're going to make sure that they can track it. So any money you spend on the game in the beta, they're just going to push through to when the game is, but after they wipe your account for the last time.
Right. So if they wipe your account, you'll at least still have like $500 to spend or whatever money you spend on it.
Yeah. And you won't be able to buy individual cards, but you'll be able to buy booster packs.
Sure.
Which again, if you get wild cards in those booster packs, and again, it remains to be seen like how they've fixed it, because like they really need to have a lot of wild cards, in my opinion. They need to be more plentiful than they are.
Right.
Once you get to the point where you have a lot of wild cards, you can just retain them and wait until the new set comes out. And you're like, oh, I have 8 mythic rare wild cards, so I can literally just craft all the cards that I want from this new set immediately. Sure.
That's cool. That's cool at least.
Yeah.
So the more you play, like you basically get a snow roll like carryover, like Phone Plan.
Yep, exactly. And of course you could save gold and then spend it on the new set, and then in that new set you can open cards you don't have, or you can open wild cards, which gets you whatever cards you want.
All right, one more question for the economy. You said we have gold, we have packs. What are gems? I know there was something called gems.
Gems is that's what you get buy from real money.
Okay, all right. So gems are like the strongest currency, I guess, in the game.
Yes, but you can only get.
Can you earn them?
No, you only get. You get coins for free through in-game actions, and you can buy gems with cash.
And no trading whatsoever.
No trading whatsoever. Even though there's a suggestion that I had that I've actually seen someone else post on the forums, the Arena forums, and this is something that I actually feel really strongly about. I kind of want to push for. Hopefully, there can be some force behind it. I want to be able to turn 4 wild cards of any rarity into 1 wild card of the next rarity up. Because you end up with all these common wild cards that just don't do anything. because you're just like I have every common in the set, and I have like 32 common wild cards. There's literally nothing I can do.
Oh wait, so you have 4. Like, let's say you have 4 of one common. You get a 5th one. The 5th one doesn't dust and become part of the vault.
It does. It does.
Okay, so what are you saying exactly?
Okay, so eventually you'll have every common in standard.
Okay.
You have 4 of every common, and you'll be like, I still have all these common wild cards left over. What can I do? Well, the game right now says,
got you.
Well, you wait until the next set comes out, and then you have all those commons.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You say to take those 4 wild cards, dust them for 1 uncommon wild card, take 4 uncommon for 1 rare. Okay, that's cool.
And I actually think this is good for both the players and for the economy of the game on Wizard's side, because, like, if that's the case, you're literally using, like, 64 common wild cards to make 1 mythic rare. Like, you're using up a lot of the economy that you're getting. Yeah, because, I mean, they're incentivized to let you use resources. Like, they want you to use resources. If you're using up 4 rare wild cards to make 1 mythic, that's a ton. That's a ton of resources you're using. That's like trading a set of drowned catacombs for a Kumena. Like in real Magic. So and it's just like redeeming wild cards like now, because it's like when you redeem it's like, are you sure you want to do this? So it's like upgrade wild card, you have to have at least 4. It's like, you're sure you want to do this? Yep. And then you have the next rarity up.
Yeah, it's basically trading like 4 rares. So 4 Vraska's Contempts for the best mythic, which is what? A Scarab God?
Scarab God, Chandra.
I guess. Yeah, is that worth it? I don't know.
Yeah.
You lose money, right? It's like
you do.
Like, 4 Vraska's Contempt is worth more than 1 Scarab.
And again, of course, like, you know, it's 4 of anything, so it doesn't have to be Vraska's Contempt, but that's a good example.
But it's a wild card. But I'm saying, like, it's a wild card, so it can literally be the best card.
So it represents the best card, exactly.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's something that I really think that they should do. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions on the economy of the game?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, so a lot of people have kind of dogged how the game looks. It's very Hearthstone, to put it simply, honestly.
Yeah, it even has emotes. I saw that too.
It even has emotes. I actually think it's great. I understand that people are like, this looks like Hearthstone. Yeah, you know why it looks like Hearthstone? Because Hearthstone does a really good job at making sure the game looks good enough for people to watch it. Magic is so difficult to follow. It's like, and Magic Online, of course, does awful for this. If you stumbled on that game on Twitch, you're going to be like, this is not exciting. There's no colors. There's nothing attracting me to watch this experience.
No.
Like we talked about earlier, when you play Hearthstone, you're like, oh, I remember all of these things. When a creature comes into play or a minion comes into play, it like says something, or when it attacks, it says something.
Yeah.
All these animations that gold cards have. Like, Magic needs that. Magic has this incredible history to draw from.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just like not using it, so it's like, oh yeah, it looks like Hearthstone. Yeah, that's because Hearthstone did it right. Like, it's not a shame to copy from a game that has done it successfully. Magic's a better game than Hearthstone.
Yeah, I agree.
Why can't it take the look of it too?
Yeah, I mean, but last time that someone copied, anyways. Yes, you're right.
Like, I'm not worried at all about like it looking like it's a Hearthstone clone.
Mm-hmm.
If they're committed to doing this, they can just be like, Magic is just better. We're gonna make this game better, and that's fine that it looks similar, because they can differentiate it with enough things that make it Magic.
Yeah, that's true.
How many things have you seen, like, as far as like the look of the game? I'm sure you've seen a couple of like.
I tried the emo. I tried clicking everywhere to see if anything like blew up like in Hearthstone. Nothing blew up for me. But it's like it's like a little sparks fly or dust or whatever. But nothing like exploded like in Hearthstone. The phasing was kind of hard to follow, like whose turn it is, putting stops on, knowing where exactly where we are on the turn, because that's kind of difficult for me. But also I understand you can't really have the card, but having like the card basically like cut in half was kind of weird. When it's in play, the card's basically like cut in half.
It's just the art, and you have to click. You have to hover over the card to read it. That's kind of.
It's
just like Hearthstone weird in that sense. Honestly, like once you get used to that, you even forget that's the thing. It just saves so much room by doing that.
Yeah.
And it's how it zooms in on the card, like on the left side of the screen, I think is great. I think it's really helpful.
Another thing that Little tick.
Yeah.
My deck was on the left hand side. I was like, I want to move to the right
I
hand
never
side.
play
Why
with
is
it.
it
I
left
know.
hand side?
I always play with my deck on the right hand side too.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, I kind of got used to that too, but yeah, I understand.
One thing that like Hex and Hearthstone have done too, with the mana system, they've made the mana like not be part of the picture. Magic was able to do this because mana is a big part of the game.
Yeah.
One Hearthstone, it's important, but not nearly as important as Magic. With Hex, it's very important too, but they were able to like consolidate into like a very small section. Magic does not have that.
But what they have done in Arena is so the bottom of your screen. So you actually have you have 4 areas. You have 5 areas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna try to draw it with my hands. You guys ready?
Oh my god,
great.
no.
All right. So this is a square where the gameplay is, right?
Right.
There's this bottom bar right here. On this side of the bar, all of your artifacts and enchantments and non-creature things go other than planeswalkers.
Okay.
On this side of the bar is where all of your lands go. And there's not a bar physically, but it's actually there's like a divide. And on each side, land or artifacts, enchantments, mainly artifacts and enchantments, go here. Lands go here. Creatures are in this middle part, and they go all the way across.
Okay.
And there's 2 more small spaces that don't always come up in every game. There's a space over here, which is where your planeswalkers go. And there's a space over here, which is where emblems and other effects like the City's Blessing go.
Okay. Cool.
And it looks really clean, which is something that I really like, and it's something that I've actually come to appreciate because it is very clean.
Okay. I have one.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, go ahead.
No, I have a question too. I know there's different times in the past. I'm not sure if they fixed it or not. But let's say like, I know in Arena, in the past you could not control which lands you tap when you cast a spell. Like the lands auto tap for you. Right.
Yes and no. So with the auto tapping, if you hover, if you like grab a card in your hand, it'll actually highlight the lands that it's going to tap for you. So it's not like a surprise. But I will say, when it has a land that does something else, like Field of Ruin is a really common one. Let's say your opponent has no lands that you can target with Field of Ruin. No, it doesn't tap it. And this is actually really important for colorless lands like Ark of Orazka. Even if you don't have the City's Blessing, or if you don't have 5 untapped lands, it'll like, I want to keep this land untapped because it has a special ability. So it won't tap that, even when that's the first land you want to use tap. So it's good when it's just working with colored mana, generally.
Right.
Because it tries to say, it takes your deck into consideration. For example, I played the 4-color deck, right? Yeah. And I had 1 forest in my deck so I could cast Vraska, Relic Seeker.
Yeah.
And every time, if I have that forest out, every time I would go to cast a spell, it leaves that forest open because, of course, my opponent doesn't know what I have. So it's like, it's wanting to bluff for you, which I appreciate. Even though I'm like, I want to tap this forest because it's basically a colorless land until I have this Vraska. Yeah. I don't want to bluff a green card. But once, let's say you have, like, I noticed that once you go through all the green cards of your deck and you don't have any more, it's like, okay, now I'm willing to tap this green land.
Okay. Which
is kind of nice, but again, like there is a problem with like Field of Ruin. Unclaimed Territory is a brutal one because it will literally never. It's the last land to tap, and not only does it produce only colorless mana, but it's also the first thing you want to tap generally when you're playing like a tribal deck because it makes any color of mana, but you have to like manually select it. So what I learned to do, and I actually really like this system, is you can tap lands on your own too. Yeah. So I'll just go, and it's like, okay, I know I want to tap this Field of Ruin to cast a spell, right? I want to cast a spell that is, we'll say, like Thrashing Brontodon, which costs 1 green. So I go and I tap the Field of Ruin, and I know I have 2 forests, and I grab the spell, it highlights the 2 forests, I'll just drag it up, and it'll use the 1 colorless mana that I added in my mana pool, and then the 2 green that it automatically taps and just throws it on the play. Right. So once you learn that, you'll be fine. But if you don't do that, you are going to leave yourself with so many colorless lands in the beginning that it's frustrating. Like I've definitely I've lost multiple games from this happening. that's why it can be frustrating. But if you use a cross between doing like manually tapping yourself and letting it auto tap, you can have more control over it than it seems like.
Okay. All right.
So I guess for today, I want us to come back to Magic Arena once we have this. I guess this update under our belts, because like obviously I'm going to be playing it over the next week, and going on from there. So I kind of I want us to come back to this topic, and then you can have some time to put some games under your belt.
I will.
Okay, Ollie, anything else for Magic Arena for today?
No, I'm good. I think I've heard enough. Now I have a basic grasp. I know what's going on. I know what I need to do. And yeah, I'm good.
Excellent. Okay. In that case, let's dive into our second segment, which is this week's Magic Story, but not Magic Story Episode 1, Magic Story Return to Dominaria Episode 1 and 2. We got it dropped on us because since they preempted it last week, or I guess didn't preempt it, they pushed it back a week. We got 2 Magic Stories.
I mean, I literally tweeted like, why would you push back the story? I don't understand it. I tweeted this at them last week. And then this week they surprised us with 2. They didn't give us a heads up.
They did give us a heads up, but it was like the day before.
Okay, well, I didn't see that part.
Yeah, I didn't either, honestly.
Okay,
I didn't either. I found it today, but fortunately we were able to get it, read it, conceptualize it a little bit. So normally, Ollie, I ask you to give me a brief synopsis of the story, but since it's 2 stories, I think we'll just kind of go in order and give our thoughts.
Sure, let's go.
Okay.
I like that.
So, the first scene we see in the first Magic story, and we're going to just combine these. We'll kind of tell you when they break off, just in case you want to go back and read them.
Yeah.
But the first scene we see is of the Cabal. And obviously this is the Cabal is a cult from the Odyssey and Onslaught blocks, where...
Before that, though, we see the planeswalkers, right? Are you talking about episode 1, where it's
I think we see the Cabal first. Pretty sure.
No.
I'm pretty sure we see the Cabal first.
Okay, I'll keep going then. Sorry.
Okay, so we see the Cabal, and they are worshippers of the Elder Demon, Belzenlok, which, as we know, is Liliana's last demon to defeat. The Cabal they've changed from what we last, messed with them years and years ago. Yeah. They are a different Cabal. They're using the same name, and as we come to find out, this is not a coincidence that they are slightly different. Belzenlok has taken things throughout Dominaria's history and molded them to his image and made it seem as though he is the progenitor of these things. We see his followers have him take credit for the death of an elder dragon. He literally takes the name the Cabal and is using it to kind of evoke a feeling throughout the rest of Dominaria.
Yeah.
And did you notice where their base of operations was?
No.
It's the Stronghold. Now, the Stronghold was something that the
Valar Stronghold?
Well, presumably, but here's the thing.
Okay.
I don't think it is. The Stronghold was on Wrath. I don't think that they're on Wrath. But the fact that he's using that name, he's taking credit for all of these things that he did, that someone else did in the past, but he's taking credit for them, using the Cabal name. It's like he's literally trying to form Dominaria's history around his own. Which is really like weird. which honestly I think is awesome, because this is like historically, like in real life, this is what like cult leaders do. They make their followers think that they are the person leading the cult is the Almighty, the Alpha and the Omega, the person that is everything revolves around them. So he's taken the name of this old cult, the Cabal, revived it. He's taken the name of the former Phyrexian base of operations, actually where Krovax was on Wrath, the Stronghold, and has named his base of operations that, is taking credit for things that Dakin Blackblade did. We haven't seen him since Legends.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. I wonder why he's doing it. I guess just for the cult.
Because this is it's manipulation. This is literally he's trying to remove any doubt that he is the most powerful being on Dominaria by taking credit for everything, and he's evoking history to do that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so the next thing we see is Joyra for the first time, which is pretty exciting. Joyra is.
By the way, that art's fantastic.
That art is freaking amazing. Yeah, she looks awesome. And Joyra has put together this ship, and Joyra, who's 1,200 years old, but virtually immortal. Has created this ship to retrieve the Weatherlight from the bottom of some ocean.
Sea, ocean, something.
Yes.
Ocean of some sort.
And it's really short, but that's really all we get from Joyra, is seeing that she's very alive and very well, and is going to get the Weatherlight so she can captain it for, presumably, to fight the Cabal. Or maybe the Frictions. We don't know yet.
Who knows?
We don't know yet.
Who knows? All we know is that she got it.
That's right. Okay, and then we finally get to
the Gatewatch.
The Gatewatch. Ollie, why don't you give us your thoughts on this part?
All right, so we're at the Gatewatch. They're all porting in. They just poured in from losing to Bolus.
Losing real hard.
Losing real hard, yeah. Gideon has like a big hole in his shoulder from Bolus's touch, where he like pierced his armor. Like, you're not invincible. They're all talking, and they're all like, Nissa's like angry. She's pissed.
She's pissed.
She is pissed off.
Pissed.
Yeah, she is mad. She's like, where's Jace? She's like, he probably ran off. He's gone. Gideon's like, no, they just do that. She's like, I don't care.
Yeah, she's like, if you did, if you didn't, whatever.
Yeah, and then like Liliana starts talking, and they're talking, and people, and the Gatewatch assumes that Liliana wants them to help her with Belzenlock. Liliana doesn't want to say it because she'd rather like get them to do it
on the low
without having to. Yeah,
she basically wants them to think it's their idea to help her.
Right. And then and she knows she needs Nissa's help more than Chandra's here.
And she actually spells it out. She literally says exactly why she needs Nissa.
Yeah, and what needs to happen.
Yep.
And Chandra sees how she's talking, how Liliana's talking to Nissa. She's like, oh, so you just used me? I thought we were friends back at Almaket. You are like not even talking to me. Like, what's going on? And the way she's talking to Nissa, Nissa's like, it's like, listen, I need your help. You help me, I'll get more powerful. We can take down Bolus. Yeah. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Nissa's like, no. You know what? No. It's not what I signed up for. Starts walking away. They're like, Nissa. Gideon's like, Nissa, what are you doing? Like, we had to defeat Bolus. She's like, no, I'm done. My watch is over. She planes walks away.
Such a brutal phrase.
My watch is over?
Yeah.
Reminds me of the Night Watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Nissa really calls out Liliana, and she's right. Like, everything she says is right. She's like, you just abandoned us. Like, I didn't see you get beat up by Bolus. I just saw you run.
Yeah. Well, she didn't say it out loud. The rest don't know. Like that Gideon doesn't know. She's just like
no.
Yeah, Nissa knows, but she didn't like say it.
Yeah,
completely.
Nissa doesn't know. She's just like, this is what I think happened, but I don't know exactly. But I think this is what happens. I'm gonna call you out.
Yeah. So that's basically what happened. And then Nissa's like, Sean's like, don't go. Nissa's like, no, I'm out here. Nissa leaves, and then Leon's talking. He's like, okay, well, it's us three. I need help. I gotta help defeat Belzenlock. And ultimately, Chandra's like, you know what? I'm gonna go too. I gotta get stronger. She's like, you leaving the Gatewatch? You quitting? You can't quit. Chandra's like, no, I'm not quitting. I need to get stronger. I'm not here to. I didn't sign up to help defeat demons. I signed up to defeat Bolus. I'm not quitting the Gatewatch. I'm going to get stronger.
Yep.
And then she leaves.
Yep.
And then all that's left is Gideon and Liliana. And at this point, Liliana's like, okay, I'm just waiting for Gideon to.
You're just gonna leave too. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to say something. Like, I'm just waiting for whatever. But she knows she needs him, so she like tries to get him to stay. Gideon wants to stay.
Yep. Willingly.
Yeah, he stays. And Gideon wants to stay, and she's like, "That's okay." She's like, okay. And she's like, okay, well, since you're staying...
Yeah, she's like surprised.
Yeah, she's like, okay, well, I need to heal you. And he's like, you can heal?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, there's a lot of things you don't know about me. I can do plenty of things.
Yeah.
And that's where... Oh, the quote she said was, the list of things you don't know could fill the archives on Dominaria. She jokingly jabbed at his intelligence.
Yeah.
And...
which is good, because that's the only thing she could jab at, because Gideon, if she touched him, like, he's literally practically dead. Just keeping his eyes open so he doesn't, like, pass out and die.
Yeah.
So from there, Gideon and Liliana, team of 2, go to where we find out is Liliana's home, and, like, I guess ancestral home, which is actually Benalia, which is really interesting, because we knew Liliana's from Dominaria, but we didn't know where on Dominaria, because Dominaria is massive. And it's actually Benalia. Which is really interesting, because Benalia traditionally is actually, like, when you think about it, like when you consider a color of mana that you associate with Benalia, it's actually white mana.
Right.
So it's even more interesting that that's where Liliana's from, but again, Liliana was a healer before she ended up her spark igniting.
Yeah.
So I actually think that was interesting. I think that was a pretty good, and it also makes sense, like, with her story. Like, I think it fits in. So they go back, they go to Benalia, they find an inn, and the place is just, like, ravaged.
Yeah, she notices that the House of Vess is gone too.
Yep.
Or not gone, but, like, not what it was.
It's basically trashed, and is kind of where there used to be a forest. There's now, like, this muck and swamp. And the as we come to find out later, it's not just Benalia, but it's actually the township of Vess, which is her last name. And I don't think it's because it's her last name because she was born there. I literally think her family was so powerful that the township was named after their family.
Which is crazy, yeah.
Yeah, which is super crazy.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So after they get to the inn, Liliana goes and, like, collects some herbs and starts to heal Gideon, and then, of course, talking to the people around the town, namely the innkeeper and his family, find out...
She's like, what they know.
Yeah, it's like, find out that the Cabal has basically terrorized this area, and that the Cabal in this area is led by a powerful lich.
Named?
Well, we can mark one off one off your list, Ali. But we'll go ahead and get to it.
I didn't say that.
You said last week, you were like, it could be. Anyway, the lich...
I backtracked immediately.
Yeah, you're backtracking now. The lich is Josu, her undead brother.
Mm-hmm.
Which this, of course, she knows that Belzenluck has done this on purpose to piss her off even further. To mess with her.
And as a lich, he's not like a zombie. Like, he's a zombie, but he's like a...
Not a mindless zombie.
Yeah, he remembers. He has memories of who he was.
Yes. Which is important because he was a warrior before he died.
Yeah. So that happens, and she goes and she gets the herbs that she needs for Gideon, and she goes back, she heals him, or starts healing him, and then is that when the army attacks?
Okay, so when she finds out that Josu, her brother, is a lich, that's when chapter 1 ends, part 1 of the story.
Right. Yeah.
So she goes back, and as she's, like, healing Gideon, and she's thinking about it, and she's, like, she's basically, like, trying to figure out. She's like, okay, so how can we need to just defeat Josu. Like, we have to. Like, that's step 1 to make sure that we can kind of recapture this area and put some chinks in Belzenluck's armor. But she's like, I feel like I have to use the chain veil to do that.
Yeah.
Then she's like, well, if I use the chain veil, I'm not going to be able to defeat Belzenluck. So certainly, I could find a way to beat Belzenluck without using the chain veil. So she's kind of having this inner monologue. So then, of course, she goes out into the woods, and she's going to the manor. Vess Manor.
Yeah.
It's kind of beaten up, and as she's going through the muck, who, of course, does she happen upon as she's walking?
Josu.
No, the Raven Man.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Sorry. No, she shouts for him. She's like, I know you're here. Show yourself. He appears in Raven form. Ravens gather. She starts asking him questions. And, is it... Hold on.
I got you. So
Okay.
she's like, she's questioning herself, and of course the Raven Man can hear and see into her mind.
Yeah.
And she's basically like, why? Why are you here? Why did you appear before all of this happened? Like right as I was accidentally killing my brother all those years ago. And she's basically like, who are you? What are you? What is your purpose? And before he goes, he's just like, I think you know. I think you know.
Well, any question she had, he said, I think you know what's going on. I'm just trying to make sure that this is the Raven Man is story 1, not story 2. But I think the Raven Man is in story 2.
Raven Man's in story 2.
Yeah, so before the Raven Man, she's going back after that manner. She goes back to Heal Gideon, right? And that's when she encounters she hears people screaming. She's like she feels the necrotic energy. She's like, I don't have time for this, and she goes back, and she sees that they're being attacked by the little inn or whatever is being attacked by.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I jumped ahead. It was me this time. I got excited.
It's okay. I was making sure. I was like, no, I was pretty sure we were skipping ahead. But yeah, so basically, yeah, and that's what happens. She just found out that Josu is she basically talking to Gideon or whatever. She heals Gideon, and she's in her own head. But then she senses dark magic, and she starts running back, and she sees what's going on. Gideon's fighting he's like, I'm not trying to fight with his being wounded.
Yeah,
and Leon just she's powerful. She just tears them apart, and she cuts she senses the ties of whatever's reanimating some corpses, and she's able to basically disenchant those ties because she can manipulate that.
Yeah,
she does all that, and then after that, she basically I think that's when she finds out about Josu serving Bells and Locke, and that's when we get to Raven Man.
Okay.
Leon tells Gideon what's going on, basically. Or is that before? It's two stories at one day. It's confusing me.
It is confusing. Okay, well let's just... I don't think the exact order matters. Let's just move on.
Okay, sure.
So she questions the Raisin Man. That would answer the questions. He's a raven.
Yeah.
The Raven Man, and he questioning who he is, and why did you come before my spark ignited? And he's like, I think you know. He basically tells her to look inside herself because she knows the answer to the question that she's asking. Yeah,
it almost seems like it's coming from inside of her. It almost seems like it's her.
I think it is.
Okay, keep going.
I think the Liliana says something in her inner monologue where she goes, it could be anything from a powerful planeswalker to an elder dragon in human form. So you know what that tells me?
That's her?
It's not an elder dragon in human form or a powerful planeswalker. I think it is literally Liliana.
All in her mind?
I think it is literally Liliana. I think this is something that she is projecting herself. It has nothing to do with the chain veil. I think this is literally her, part of her inner monologue.
Maybe something she's suppressed so much that formed itself. Because it has followed her from plane to plane to plane to plane. She always thinks someone's following her, but it's probably herself.
No one else has ever seen the Raven Man. It's just her.
Hey,
it's a lot of evidence. It's a lot of evidence.
Sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And especially consider the fact that she points out that it could be an elder dragon in human form or
automatically
a planeswalker.
it says
it's not them. Well, that's not it. Storytelling 101.
When they say it is who it is, it's not who it is.
It's not who it is. So,
right, that makes sense.
So I think she knows, and I do think that I don't know if we'll ultimately find out whether that's true or not, and I think they're going to try to keep us guessing. But my vote is now on Liliana. It is just Liliana.
Okay.
Okay. So further into the story, Gideon and Liliana try to travel to Vest Manor to get a game plan to battle Josu, where he was liched by Belzenlock. And they run into an angel named Rael, who is the protector of Caligo, which is where the kind of the swampy area is that used to be the forest. Gideon, of course, has a more natural connection with an angel and talks to Rael about fighting together with Liliana and Gideon to defeat Josu and his army of undead.
Yes.
And she's like, tried that, I got destroyed. Not going to do it again.
Yeah. You should have been here earlier.
Yeah. Sorry, you missed it. And we're not going to try again. And then Gideon's like, actually, this chick, she's strong, but he doesn't say her last name. He doesn't say Liliana Vess.
Yeah, he hides it. He says, I'm Gideon Juria, this is Liliana. She's a very powerful sorceress. And Liliana starts convincing them herself because she knows what... Basically, people are talking about these witches. These witches, they're skin witches.
Yeah.
And the reason they're called skin witches is because... Actually, they don't know. They don't know why they're called skin witches, but they know that's what they're called. And they know about shades, but they don't know what shades do.
Yep.
And they're like... Gideon's like, okay, so what do these guys do? She's like, I don't know. No one's ever lived. And then Leon's like, okay, let me break it down for you.
Yeah.
A skin witch is basically a necromancer that kills you by flaying off your skin. And of course, they also wear the skin.
The skin of their...
whoever they kill.
Yeah,
or flay. Whatever.
Yep.
And Gideon's like, of course they do. Of course they do.
Yep.
And then she says, well, a shade is someone that is basically like a shadowy thing that can grow monstrous like a giant or shrink down to an ant and go into a body and a corpse and animate it.
Yep.
And they're both like, wow, how you know all this?
She's like, I
know things.
I know stuff.
Yeah. And that enough's like, okay, well, you're mysterious, you know a lot. Maybe we do have a chance.
Yeah. And in this time, Liliana and Gideon have a nice little exchange. After Liliana, basically is like Gideon, she's just like, you're dumb, and that's kind of all she says. Gideon goes, I can tell you're upset. He told her, you're not putting much effort into your insults.
Yeah. That was good. And there's
And then right after that, it kind of has a passage where Liliana basically says to herself, she's like, it felt weird because I knew that Gideon could tell how I was feeling, even when and she admitted, kind of in her monologue, that she puts on this front to be tough and not show any emotion, which we knew about Liliana, but to hear her say it herself, I think is really interesting, especially for Gideon, who she doesn't hate Gideon the person, but she hates the idea of him.
Yeah, because he's white, angels, blah blah blah, duty and good.
He's a goody two shoes.
Yeah. And before we wanted to really quick before they decided to go and destroy Josu. Leona sits down and is like, hey, this is my plan. I want to go and kill my disperse my brother,
unlich my brother.
Unleash my brother, and to do that, I need to use a chain veil. Yeah. It's going to make you powerless, or make you a lot weaker after I use it. Yeah. So I won't have the energy to defeat Belzenlock with the chain veil. And she's like on edge.
She's like, all right, this is where you stop me. This is where you talk me out of it.
Yeah, and the whole time he's like, no, you're right.
That sounds right. Yep.
It's like, that's right. That's what we should do. That will destroy so and so. We should do this. And she's like, by that she's just thrown off. Yeah. And she's almost starts feeling like these. It feels like she's feeling emotions, and she's feeling emotions. She's like, I need to suppress these emotions.
Yep.
This is no time for emotions now, or something. She just suppresses them.
Yep.
But it almost feels like she's developing some sort of emotions towards Gideon.
Oh, for sure.
Which is it's I don't know. It's interesting.
It is interesting.
Yep.
Now Liliana thinks, and I don't know if she believes this in her heart, but she wants to put on the front that she thinks that people are kind of a means to an end.
Yeah.
That they're kind of pawns at her game, even though we know that she ultimately doesn't really feel like that, but she wants people to think that's how she feels.
It's because of what she did. It's what happened to her brother. But anyways.
Yep, and that's exactly what she says. She worries as I heal Gideon and protect him, am I going to do the same thing to him that I did to my brother?
Yeah, even though she's just buried that so far. It's just coming. It's just haunting her forever.
Yeah. So directly before they battle the Cabal forces, as they're meeting kind of the Benelish soldiers, they point out a specific character. Rael the Angel points out a specific character, and that is Corrin, who is a mage from Teleria.
Yeah.
And Gideon notes that he basically looks weak. Yeah, he looks like frail, and he's like, he probably can't do anything.
He looks like Jace, and immediately asks him
exactly, and that's
can you do illusions?
Yeah, and that's literally Gideon's like so narrow. Like, I don't want to say he's narrow-minded, but like I think it's kind of like a lot of us. Like, we immediately make comparisons when we see something similar to something else that we know.
Yeah.
But I also think it's interesting. He loves Jace. Like, Gideon loves Jace.
Yeah, he does.
But he's like, as he's forming this plan, this battle plan, he's like, he looks back and he like looks over his shoulder and he's like, I wonder if we can do this without putting a mage in.
Oh, basically put him out of the way. Yeah. It was hilarious. And then like then like when they do start fighting, Gideon has a plan to like lure. Gideon's plan is to lure the shade away from everybody.
Yeah.
And that's what he does. He like basically he kills the two skin witches by using his white magic shield to disperse the poison and beheads them.
He had forgotten that he has like aeromancy magic, and it like tries to put a spell on him, and he like and he puts his shield up. He's like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm good, and then he just like lops one of their heads off. Yeah,
he's doing that, and all of a sudden like his illusion falls. He feels the illusion go away. He's like, oh. Well, he's probably dead. I hope he's not, but that mage is probably dead.
Yeah.
That's like he's thinking like it's so
weak.
Like
I wonder if Corrin's dead. I hope not, but he could be.
This is probably what happened. I don't know why he'll drop it otherwise. Anyways, then he faces the shade. The shade's like screaming. He screams back at the shade, and they charge each other, and they fight.
Yep. So during this time, as the Benelish army, Rael, Gideon are fighting the Cabal forces, Liliana goes into Vest's manor, and knowing that Josu will either be there or follow her.
Well, she screams at him. She's like in her mind, or like she gets a like, "Hey, your sister's here. I'm here." He's like, "No."
He's like, "This is a trick."
Yeah, she's like, "You don't know your own sister, Josu?"
You're like, it's me.
Yeah.
Show yourself. And then, in a shorter time, I believe, than it took me to read the paragraph of their battle, Liliana grabs the chain veil and just smokes him.
Well, he starts talking to her. He starts talking to her about like he's like talking to her, and he's like, she's like, I tried to heal you, and now Melson has you as a puppet. He's messing you up. She's like, no, you made me a puppet. Like, you ruined me. You messed me up. She's like, no, Buzzlock is making you say this because, this is
because he has a hold on you. Yeah.
Yeah. So she grabbed the chain veil and the Onaki flow through her, and she you said, obliterates him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But obliterates him. But he's not. As he's dying, he starts talking, and this whole time people are like, the best curse, like destroy this land. I mean, Josu, and no one knows exactly what the best curse is, and he's talking to her. He's like, "Hey, Liana, like, my mom and dad tried to save me. Dad tried to bury me. I killed him. Mom tried to find you because she thought you were still alive, and then I killed her. And the rest of our family tried to stop me, and I killed all of them
because of you.
Because of you. Well, he says, I killed all of them, and he says, now I am what I am." And she's like, the curse, at least the curse is finally gone. She's like, no, I'm not this is not the curse. Liliana, you are the best curse. You are the curse of Vest. You are entirety of the curse.
You did this.
It's your fault.
Everything's your fault. All of this.
Yeah.
Everything that has happened in this town and in our family, that's you.
You're literally the curse of Vest. And he died. Then he dies. He's like this.
Yeah, after he throws major shade, lowercase shade, not like the shade that they were fighting earlier.
Yeah.
So after he throws shade, Liliana's just like, she just like can't believe it.
No, she's like, no, she's harsh in her anger. She's like, it hurts her, but she just wants to show. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, if I'm the curse, then I will be the curse of Belzenlock. I will curse Belzenlock.
She tries to channel her sadness of hearing what her brother is saying into anger.
Into anger.
Belzenlock, yeah.
Yes. And then Gideon walks up. He's heard everything. He's like, he tries to grab her arm to help her up, like pick her up. She's like, I got this. She forced herself to stand her back up.
Off. Yeah.
Yeah. She's weakened from the chain veil, but she's like, no.
But she's not emotionally weakened. Well, she might be, but she's
not showing it.
She's resolved. Her resolve is strong.
Yeah, she's literally channeling anger to push away everything else. And that's what literally anger does in real life too. If you get angry, you're able to push away all other emotions if you're angry. So
yeah,
that's what she's doing.
So the thing that I really liked through both of these stories is I actually think this is like my favorite writing of Gideon, because it really shows like how much of a white character he is.
Yeah.
Like he literally wants to believe the best in everyone, like legitimately, even Liliana, even in moments when he shouldn't have, like when all logic points to him being like, you know what, this is too much. You're on your own.
Yeah. Yep.
He always wants to defend people at like all costs.
No, he definitely does.
And he's just like he's such like a you could just tell like how much like how good of a person he is, like how good of a human being he is.
Oh yeah, like when Leon was like telling him all the things she needed to do, it was obvious that like he obviously agreed with her, but he knew like this is what needs to happen.
Yeah,
she needs this. She needs this to do it. It's not the plan that is the best, but like I need to do this because she's my friend. But he doesn't say all that. He's just like, yeah, I agree. You're right. And but like that's obviously what's going on, and that makes it like that much more like, wow, Gideon's like
this is a good.
This is a generally good guy. Yeah. He's good guy. Like we need a meme with good guy Gideon.
Yeah,
like it's crazy because like she's like saying all these things like the other guys, other walkers have planes walked away, and he's like, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yes, that's what we need to do.
It's like, so it's us two.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And he's immediately like as soon as the other two leave, he's just like, okay, well it's you and I then.
Let's keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's just like it's like Gideon before. I feel like was written stubborn, like he was a stubborn like this, basically like a dumb jock.
Yes, and not now.
Yeah, and now I feel like he's just like he's still a little stubborn in the sense of, you know, like he thinks basically when it comes to battle, he feels like he has the best way. Now he's come to respect Liliana obviously a lot, but like Corrin, he's like, he's like you're I haven't seen what you can do, so I just think you can't do anything. You look weak.
But like you said, Gideon did seem like a big dumb jock. Like the reason they fought Bolas the way they did, no plan, was because of Gideon. Gideon's like, let's just go. Let's just
punch him literally punch him in the face as hard as we can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and I'm glad he's being portrayed more as what he's being portrayed now as, like as a white, generally white character. Like now, I feel like he's more white. Where before was like,
but he's more well rounded.
Yes.
Yeah.
It seems better.
Yeah.
I also like the way Nissa was portrayed.
I do too.
It showed her like she was, like I said, pissed.
She was legit pissed. Yeah.
Yeah, she was. It was great.
Yeah. This is actually, even in the brief moments where Nissa and Chandra were there, like I really have enjoyed how all four of the Gatewatch characters were portrayed in these stories.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Which is, you know, obviously we have, and especially me, have been really critical of the Gatewatch and how they've been portrayed on the show. So this is refreshing. Like I don't want them to go away. I just want them their stories to be interesting. I want them to be more well-rounded characters, because Magic story has done a really good job of well-rounded characters recently, but it's been not the Gatewatch. It's been like everybody else.
Yeah, I honestly wish that, you know, coming towards the end of our story, and we basically covered it all, I kind of wish they did a story like 3 times a week or almost every day, because I wish the story was done before the set was out. That way, like when Spotlight cards
it doesn't spoil
stuff,
anything
like,
for you.
Yeah, like, and also the story doesn't matter if it's out before the set is. Like, does it really matter? It's like it'd be great to be like, oh look, this card references this in the text of the story. I feel like knowing the story first before seeing the cards is.
And it's like we're
great.
we're not going to not look at the story spotlight card just because we don't want the story spoiled. You know, it's
Yeah,
like a card we have to look.
We have to look. Yeah, just give us a story. Give us a story. Because like I want to read more. Like I'm intrigued. So I'm ready. This is shaping up to be a great story.
I think so too. I'm really excited. Obviously, Liliana's one of my favorite characters. I want to point out last week after we were talking about Liliana, someone pointed out. It's like, aren't you guys concerned that Liliana's basically like made a deal with someone and instead of like fulfilling her promise, she's going to kill them? I was like, yeah, it's crappy. It's a crappy thing to do, but that doesn't mean I don't like Liliana as a character just because I don't necessarily agree with her means of the way that she does everything.
Yeah. Anyways, that's Liliana for you.
Okay, Ollie, do you have any other thoughts on this week's double magic story before we move on? We got hit with a double dose we weren't prepared for.
Yeah, no questions. I'm just excited, and because I want to see what's Liliana going to do when she has no drive to kill demons. Is she going to help kill Bolas? Is she going to do her own thing? Like I want to know what's going to happen. I'm really curious to see because I think after that we will see the real Liliana.
I think the great thing about this story is like
when her demons are gone.
We just got 2 weeks basically of story primarily around Liliana Gideon. And like we've barely even touched like Bells and Luck's story. We barely touched your Jorah's story. We haven't even heard from Karn, Teferi, Jaya. Like there's all these characters with rich histories, and like I'm excited. I think it's off to a good start.
Yeah, I agree. Same.
Okay, all right. Well, with that, I think we are ready to move into our final segment, which we are very excited for. So let me roll down on my page here. We have asked people on Twitter and on our Patreon to send us questions because for the first time we're going to be doing obviously we're doing a live show now, but we're doing an Ask Us Anything segment. So because our Patreon supporters reached a goal level that allowed us to be able to do this live show, which obviously takes a little more resources, like we have our director on hand where he's kind of making sure that everything is going on behind the scenes appropriately. It's a lot tougher for us to do a live show, but here we are. And we're going to be answering your questions that we have received through Patreon, through Twitter. I guess we'll just get right to them. Ollie, you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
So,
and at the end, if we still have time, we'll answer questions from the chat.
If we have time, we do have a lot of questions, so it kind of just depends. We're going to try to limit this to about 30 minutes. If we don't get to your questions, that's certainly something we can get to next time. We do have at least one more of these lined up for next month, and hopefully beyond if we can get back to that Patreon tier level. Okay. So some of these are for both of us. Some of these are just for you. Some of these are just for me. So I'll kind of just go through. So for me, from Matthew Hagdom at the Hagster on Twitter, for Justin, seeing all these Dominaria spoilers and release notes, are you having Kamigawa flashbacks? Actually, no. I'm not. I know that's surprising. But Dominaria is not as much like... It's not as much like Kamigawa as people think it is. I think they're kind of getting thrown off by the fact that Legendary is a theme. But the cards are just better. They're designed better. I like the story better. Like, I really didn't care for the Kamigawa story. Like, the elements that surround a block mean a lot more to me than just the cards. And not only do I think the cards are just better in general, I'm not, like, the fact that there were legends everywhere didn't make me not like Kamigawa. It was the fact that there were crappy cards everywhere. There doesn't seem to be crappy cards in Dominaria, so the most asked question for this from like 10 different people was like, why do you hate Kamigawa so much? We're going to make that an entire segment. We're just not going to answer it today because I think it deserves more time than that. But to answer your question, it doesn't really give me flashbacks for Kamigawa. Okay. This is for both of us. This is from Matt Ninehouse at MattN7498 on Twitter. What's your advice on breaking into the modern format with not owning too many cards other than lands and the fear of trying to choose a deck that you want to play and not end up liking its performance with buying all the expensive pieces necessary? Ollie, I think this is actually a great question for you. I'll try to give my insight.
Because I buy more?
Because you try more decks than I think most people.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so I tried to get a deck that's either established as tier 1 or that has pieces that can take to other decks. Like, for example, like, if I really enjoy Lantern, I know Lantern's is tier 1, established, I want a Pro Tour, I can pick up Lantern and not be afraid to, like, I'll have a bad deck. But let's say, like, Jund, like, okay, especially pre-banning, or pre-unnerf.
Pre-unban.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, Jund is let's say I enjoy Jund. I love Jund. I want to buy it, but that deck, like, I think it's like medium. It wins sometimes, it loses other times. It's very meta dependent, and the pieces don't go into other decks. Like, there's like one of the deck which is like Abzan, and otherwise, then basically the cards that cycle are basically Liana. Everything else is like, eh. So I would personally want to buy that deck.
Well, Inquisition, of Kozilek, Thoughtseize, and Abrupt Decay are all in Lantern, aren't they?
Right. But I'm saying like you still have a huge dump in Leon the Veil, a dump in Tarmogoyf, Dark Confidant.
Okay, sure.
It's one of the most expensive decks in the format.
I think it is the most expensive deck, yeah.
And it's not even like before Blood Elf, it's not even tier 1. Even after Blood Elf, I'm not even sure it's tier 1. I don't think it is. But anyways, regardless, like, that's something I would not invest in, unless like I absolutely loved it and wouldn't play anything else.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents. Like, pick a deck that like is tier 1 that you would absolutely like love playing no matter what, or pick a deck that, like, if you play it, and a lot of the expensive cards can actually carry over to other decks. Like, let's say like Jessica Control carries over into basically all the control decks are the same shell. It's like blue land, Snapcaster Mage, come to command, and those all carry around to all kinds of shells.
That's true. You also have all the lands, which is the most important part, because that's the thing that actually carries over to most other decks the quickest.
Yeah.
And like Ollie said, if you don't want to, like, if you're concerned about the deck not performing how you want it to, I would say don't buy a deck that's expensive, because obviously money is a concern with Magic. We don't play a cheap game, unfortunately.
No. Yeah, modern very expensive. Modern very expensive.
Yep. Okay. Next up, Ollie, this is for you from Shepard at ShepardN7Mike on Twitter. You guys have had some segments about Hearthstone before, but we all know you love Hex. Have either of you played Eternal? Aside from a crappy mulligan system and the instant speed response system giving away hand info, it seems like a good game. Ollie?
I have not played Eternal. I actually have not played Eternal. I've thought about it, but playing Hex, Hearthstone, and Magic, it's kind of hard to drop another one. I actually went and kickstarted Epic. Epic, I saw was take a Kickstarter. I threw like $100 at it and became like a Kickstarter like a while ago, or 200, whatever the highest tier was, or one of the highest tiers. And I still get like emails saying, "Hey, we have this new card. We update this card. You get X amount of cards for being a Kickstarter." And I haven't even downloaded the game yet. And I kickstarted it. It's just like, it's very hard for me to find more time for other games. It's so hard. Yeah. So I have not. The only way I'd even pick it up is if, like, I don't even know. Like, they said, "Hey, we're gonna do like give
money,
cash,
basically money."
Yeah. Make it worth worth my time.
Yeah, and I haven't. I only play. I'm gonna play. So obviously, start playing MTGArena and Hearthstone. And that's pretty much all I play. Okay. Next question is for me. This is from Michael Shea Woodyard at Left Blade on Twitter. How did you become the acquisitions manager for Star City Games, then be one of the hosts of Commander Versus? So I'll go with the acquisition manager first. So I'm going to try to give you a brief rundown. Before I came to work for Star City Games, I actually worked in the footwear industry for 11 years. I was a district manager of multiple independent shoe stores before I came to Star City Games. And I decided that I kind of wanted to change a career. I love Magic. I've obviously been around this game for almost 20 years. This is my 19th year being around Magic. Or playing Magic, not just being around it. So when I decided I want to change the careers, one of my friends, and actually multiple of my friends, one in particular, former Commander Versus personality, Wes Wise, was like, hey, I really want you to come work with me at Star City Games. So after years of wanting me to do this, I was like, okay, I'll come do this. So I came to work with him. A new department had just been formed called Special Projects. It was myself and 2 other people. And shortly after I was there, for about 3 months, I was made assistant manager of the inventory department, which oversaw the Special Projects department. And then shortly after that, after I'd been there for another year, so about a year and a half, I was promoted to manager of the acquisitions department, which is what Special Projects turned into. And I'm responsible for pretty much buying all of the Magic cards that we buy from our customers. Ben Blyweiss, who's the general manager, is responsible for buying all the Magic cards that we buy from other vendors, like online. But anytime we buy them through customers, whether that's through our mail program, which I've helped develop significantly, as well as in our game center and at events on the road, as well as a handful of other things. But that's what I do, and I've kind of worked my way up, but I had a lot of management and Magic experience before I came in, so I think that kind of helped me get to where I was a lot quicker. And I've been in that role for almost throughout 3.5 years now. As far as Commander Versus, before I before I was the host of Commander Versus, I actually wrote for our website. I wrote Cube articles, which a lot of you remember. Some of you remember, probably not nearly as many people as know me on Commander Versus. Then after I decided I wanted to stop doing that, I was approached by David McDarby, who was the host of Commander Versus at the time, and he was like, "Hey, Danny West, who is the other co-host, is moving back to Asheville. Do you want to come do this with me?" And I was like, I guess so. I'll give it a shot. And the director for Commander Versus at the time is our current director for Thinktwice, which is John Choi, and he was like, you should come do this. And we talked about it, talked a lot about it, because I wasn't sure that I wanted to do it. So then I came and do it, and I do it with McDarby for a few months, and then McDarby leaves the company. So then I'm left with like, okay, so now I'm like the guy that's doing this. And I talked to Stephen Green, who actually appeared on the very first 4-player Commander Versus. Yeah, he's been on one more episode than me, actually. So we talked to him, and I'm like, Stephen, who's one of my good friends, actually one of my roommates. I'm like, do you want to? I was like, you know, I think we can be the ones that can do this. And of course, for a second, it was just Stephen and I, and then we got John Suarez and Wes on. To be the 4-player Commander Versus that you know now. Obviously, Wes was replaced with Jeremy at one point after Wes left the company. But it's kind of just been an interesting road because it kind of just happened. You know, I was approached one day to do it, and then 3 months later, I'm the only person left, as it turned out. So we've kind of just taken it from there, and they've allowed me a lot of creative freedom to kind of turn the show into what I wanted to. So that's how that happened. Okay, moving on. Another question from me, from Jace Davenport at Davenport_Jace on Twitter. Why did you decide to be part of Commander Versus series, and why were you given what looks like the lead role? So I'm going to skip that one, obviously, just answered that. And have you thought about actually trying to play with the other Commander channels, like Goldfish, Commander Cast, Commanderin, etc.? Actually, yes. Not necessarily just myself, but through Commander Versus on Star City Games, we have partnered with we've partnered with MTG Goldfish and Commander Clash is their show to do an episode. We've partnered with the Command Zone to do an episode before where we played decks that they submitted, and we did the same thing with Command Cast where we submitted decks for the other show. And actually, we would love to do more content with other teams that produce Commander content. I think people are honestly scared off by the fact that we're Star City Games. And a lot of these other people kind of do it independently, and they're not attached to this big website that, you know, some people like and some people don't like. So I think that probably hinders the fact that we don't do more content with other people. But we actually just started doing content with Channel Fireball too, which I think is surprising a lot of people. But we're having some more content with them. Actually, Commander content come out next week, which is something no one else knows unless you're watching this podcast.
Live.
No.
No.
That's right. Okay, this is for both of us. from Steven Dudson at Bunzilla MTG on Twitter. What is your most hated commander / card played in Commander?
Me, most hated card. I don't really hate any cards because I play like weird cards and people hate what I play. I'm the guy that like, oh my god, you just suspended Decree of Annihilation with Joria. Why? Like I'm that guy. So, I tend not to hate cards. The only card I like kind of like makes me a little upset. Not really, but like the card I don't want to see, I guess, because I don't hate any cards. The card I don't want to see across the table is Stranglehold.
Okay.
Stranglehold is an enchantment that says players can't shuffle libraries and can't take, and if they would take extra turn, they don't. So
basically everything Ollie ever wants to do, he can't do it. It's the anti-Ali Aintrazi card.
Yeah, as far as hate commander, I don't hate commanders, man. I like them all. I mean, I don't like them all, but like I don't mind playing this whatever. Because like I know I can play some mean cards that people will be like, oh no, he's playing. No, Juggalops or whatever. So yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, good.
For me, my most hated commander is Oloro, Ageless Ascetic. I'm a meticulous note taker, so Oloro makes me change someone's life total every single turn. I also hate Pristine Talisman. That's not my least favorite card to play against a commander, but Oloro is definitely my least favorite commander to play. Whenever someone's playing Oloro, I let them know, I'm like, hey man, this is nothing personal. This is basically just so like if we play another game, but it's like, I'm gonna kill you first. I'm gonna use all my resources to kill you because I hate having to change your life total every turn. And my most hated card played in Commander is Cyclonic Rift because I think it is unfun in a way that is not conducive to how I believe Commander should be played. I think it's like one of the least fun cards that's not banned in Commander, and it's not fun. I also hate Annihilator, in general, like as a mechanic. So a lot of the Eldrazi, but I absolutely despise Cyclonic Rift. Okay, this one's for me, and Ollie, you can chime in on this one too. This is from FL_YNWA at the Big A641 on Twitter. Curious on your thoughts for separating the CEDH and EDH in terms of ban lists. I feel that CEDH would prefer to have a more open ban list, and EDH can be more restricted since the intent of the format are different, and prevent a CEDH deck from playing with a non-competitive ones. Actually, completely agree. They are different. They're different formats. I understand they use the same card pool, but I think if you had different ban lists, I think it removes the ability for someone to waltz into a pod and just slaughter people because they're really playing a different format than the rest of people. So I actually think that's a really good idea. That's something that I've suggested before, but people that play competitive Commander or CEDH don't generally like my opinions on their format because they're very, I'll say that they're very protective of it, and they think that I am someone that is out to get it, which is not the case. It's just not how I prefer to play Commander in my free time. Ollie, do you have any opinion on that?
No. That's your question for sure, so you're good.
Okay. This one's for both of us. Daniel Cross at DP Cross Jr. on Twitter. Do you think Wizards of the Coast should take over / supplant the EDH Rules Committee? I
say no. They've been doing a good job so far. I don't see a reason to. And also, there's a lot of people that have like their own house rules. You hear like, okay, we allow so-and-so card. Okay, you want to play with this unglued card? Yeah, you can. We don't care. Like, EDH is not like, it's casual, super competitive. And I feel like taking this away from taking this to the rules committee and giving it to Wizards is like, why? Like, they've done such a good job. They're the one that built it up. Like leave it to them. Yeah. My personal opinion.
I think we're going to find out the actual answer to this question because they just announced the new kind of a new Commander variant called Brawl, which is standard only Commander with 60 cards. We'll obviously cover that on the show at some point later. That was announced today.
Okay.
But I actually agree with Ali. I don't think it's necessary for Wizards to take it over. I think that would be a slippery slope if they did. Okay. We already answered that one. This says, what is your least favorite commander to play against Oloro? This one's for both of us. At Captain Oblivious, at Captain_Panic31 on Twitter. What was your favorite at the time and now mechanic previewed in the Future Sight set? This is a good one. What mechanic would you like to see returned that hasn't seen a reprint from the set, i.e. Gravestorm, etc.? Ollie, what's yours first?
I was taking a break. I was not playing Magic when the set was released or previewed or anything. I was not playing at all. It didn't even existed. When I came back, it was Lorwyn. The Planeswalkers were the thing to be like, what's a Planeswalker?
Yeah.
Termaglyph had already been going up in price. I didn't know Termaglyph was cheap before it was this high. I didn't play. I wasn't playing.
Okay.
So, but as far as mechanics from that set, I don't remember all the mechanics. I was gonna say Spend, but Spend has come back. So
yeah, and Suspend was actually from Time Spiral, not from
yeah.
So ironically, I've taken one break from Magic, and that was when right after Champions of Kamigawa came out. Shocking, I know. I hate it. I absolutely despise Champions, and thought that if this is the way the game's going to go, I don't want to be a part of it. I took a break, came back the weekend of the Future Sight pre-release. So, my answer for my favorite at the time and now mechanic previewed in the Future Sight set actually is Gravestorm.
Okay.
It was Delve, but that did come back. I love Delve. It was on Death Rattle in that set, which is a super awesome card. But it's Gravestorm, which is Gravestorm is basically Storm for the number of cards put into libraries or put into graveyards from play this turn. It doesn't have to be yours.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's put into graveyards from anywhere. Gravestorm, which is on Bitter Ordeal.
Yeah.
But that's a super sweet card.
It's super powerful mechanic.
Super powerful, yeah. Obviously, it would be outrageously dangerous. Probably should never come back, but that card's super sweet.
Yeah.
And then, what mechanic would you like to see return that hasn't seen a reprint from the set? Actually, I want to see all of the cycles of lands, like the Horizon Canopy, Grove of the Burned Willows, Nimbus Maze, River of Tears. I want to see all of those completed, even though I think some of them would be outrageously ridiculous.
Yeah. I was going to say, looking back at the mechanics, besides Gravestorm, I guess. Actually, I don't say Gravestorm. One I thought was kind of really interesting was Grandor. Grandor was kind of interesting. It lets you play like multiple legends in a deck, and if you drew multiples, it's okay because your legend can be discarded to your legend to do something cool. So I like that. Mm-hmm. Like I remember playing with Corlash, Air the Blackblade. Like you play him, discard him, you get 2 swamps. Like this is great. I'm playing a mono black deck that can ramp. Like yeah, this is great. So I think Grandor would be mine.
Okay. All right, Ollie, next question is for you. We don't have a person to credit this to. I think we lost it. But how's Commander coming along?
To be honest with you,
I do want you to be honest with me, and so do our viewers and listeners. So if you're going to lie, just don't even speak at all. I'm
not going to lie. I have it built. I try to get at least like 3 or 4 games anytime I travel. It's hard. Like I wish I had. I thought about maybe I should build another deck so I could bring 2 together and be like, hey, you want to play Commander? Or do you have yours on you? You don't? Here's what you can play. But then, if I did that, that's more money. And I don't even play at home. So, like, I don't have time to go out and play Commander or let alone FNM or anything like that. So, maybe when the kids get a little older, Lily's getting to an age where she's like 7 now. She basically probably start playing. Maybe I'll introduce it, and if she likes it, maybe I'll start playing more then. But for now, I have the deck. I don't play nearly as much as I'd like to play.
Okay. Fair answer. I appreciate your honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This next one is for both of us, and this is actually from Ryan McKinney at MTG McKinney on Twitter. This is actually one of our good friends and my other roommate.
Both of our friends, yeah. Ryan's great. I always sells candies when I visit.
This is, yeah. He does.
Always chocolate, always
eats them out of house and home.
Yep.
What do you think will be the top commanders for the new Brawl multiplayer format? Which is a great question. Ollie, have you updated yourself on Brawl?
No, but imagine any commander that chooses all opponents, or like has the tags like all opponents lose a card or lose life or gain life or whatever.
Sure. I mean, it's like Commander, but you can use Planeswalkers also.
Ooh.
Which, as you know, I've talked about on this show and
Ugin.
Okay, well, Ugin's on standard.
Oh, okay.
It's standard only, 60-card decks. You can use Planeswalkers as commanders. Your life level is 30. There's no commander damage. New card from from Dominaria.
Yeah, sure. I like that.
I am going to go with. I actually think two that people are not thinking about is Angrath, the Minotaur Pirate, the one for the Planeswalker deck one, like the precon.
Mm-hmm.
It's an excellent pirate commander, and Jace Ingenious Mind Mage, which is also the Planeswalker deck Jace, mono blue Jace. He's 6 mana, but he draws cards and untaps all of your creatures. So I actually think those are going to be. I think those are going to be two good ones that people are kind of sleeping on. But I also think that like Nissa, Steward of Elements, is going to be really sweet because you can play Nissa really early.
Then drop
kind of
whites of
and play like a blue green control deck. And I also think Saheeli will be really good too.
If she's general, can you play more blue?
Yeah, you play blue and green.
I thought you could only play your identity of your commander. Oh, it is a Steward of Elements, not Nissa.
That's what I said.
Yeah, never mind. I'll think a 3 mana one that makes guys.
Yep.
Never mind.
I think some of the more powerful legendary.
That's actually 2.
Huh? Yeah, Zakama's good, but I think
says Zakama.
Well, here's the thing though. Like Zakama's obviously really powerful, but it's tough with ramp. Like there's not a ton of good ramp in Standard, as you probably know.
Our promise.
That's one card.
There's a lot of 3 mana ones, and there's a lot of creature ones. There's a lot of mana dorks.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Obviously, the most powerful legendary creature in Standard is the Scarab God, and I think that is going to be overrated as a commander. I think it's going to be good, but I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a little overrated.
All right.
Okay. Next one. This is a repeat one from Shepard at ShepardN7Mike on Twitter. This is for both of us. We all know Kamigawa is your most hated block, for me, with good reason, of course. But I don't think we've heard you say what your favorite is. Ooh. My personal favorite. Well, actually, Ollie, I'll send it to you first. I'm gonna take a sip of water.
I'll think. Let me think. I'm thinking about favorite set.
Okay, I'll let you think some more. I've taken my sip of water.
Okay.
My favorite block, if I had to pick one, and you are making me pick, is Time Spiral block. My favorite, like with a gun to my head, my favorite format is actually just straight up good old. Well, it's cube, but it's booster draft. I love to draft, and my favorite draft format is Time Spiral. Time Spiral block. Time Spiral Planar Chaos Future Sight. I love a lot of the cards from that block too. Like that's similar to Dominaria, and there's a lot of history in that block that calls back to older, the history of Magic. There's a ton of cards. It's a fun draft format, and I think a lot of the cards are good. And it's right when I came back into Magic after taking my break because Kamigawa made me leave. So there's certainly a nostalgia factor with that too. All right,
mine's RTR block-ish, not block, but constructed standard, where you can play.
So it's your favorite block. What's your favorite block? Not standard.
Oh, RTR block.
So Return to Ravnica block.
Yep.
So Return to Ravnica, Gate Crash, and the Dragon the Maze, the best set of all time.
Yes. There you go.
Okay.
I just think it's great. I think it's a great set. It was great. It was just like nostalgia again because all the guilds were back and like the people that weren't there for the original guilds got to see them again, and it's some of the greatest lands, greatest spells, guild leaders. You can sign. You can also that block favorite.
Okay, Chromatic Lantern. You just said that.
Yeah.
All right, Ollie. This one's for you. This is from Arrogant Ninja at Pablo H CPA. On Twitter.
Yep.
So Ollie said he doesn't like Legacy because most of the cards are too expensive or unavailable. Have you ever looked for budget options, although not perfect, have good results? And which options do you have beside Burn?
I wonder why he said besides Burn. Probably because I top 8 Invitational with Burn.
I don't think he said. I think because Burn is one of the cheaper decks that's a good deck.
Oh, I like Burn.
But you did top 8 an Invitational with Burn, which has surprised everybody.
I actually, believe it or not, this sounds crazy, but I love Burn and Legacy. because it's not traditional burn. It's not like
It's really
sure.
it's a combo deck in disguise.
Or a control deck. You can be control deck too, because like you can bridge people, and it's not like you just go. Sure, there's something you can go lava spike, blah blah blah, but you have to think, man. You have to think. Do I play around days? Do I have to hold? Do I play around spell pierce? Can I afford to play around spell pierce? Do I fire with fire blast? Because store two of my lands. I've actually stopped an invitational with it. I've actually scooped someone in Classic to win because they need points. I can't remember his name. Joe Lisette, actually.
Joe Lisette? Okay.
Yeah, Joe Lisette. I've top eight another Classic with it. Yeah, Burn is probably like my go-to deck of Legacy as far as cheap, because it's cheap, but it's also powerful. And Grim Mincer, that is a control card, okay? And
the question is, what other options besides
Burn? I don't know much. That's like the cheapest deck I've played. I don't know, like blue red. It's not cheap though. Volcanic Islands, like what are the elves? Monocolored deck. I don't know. Guy's Cradle. Like there's nothing.
That's the same as
there's nothing.
So the answer is: have you ever looked for a budget option? Answer for all is no.
No.
The answer for me is also no, because I'm gonna sound arrogant when I say this, but I don't have to. I have a legacy collection. I have dual lands and all the expensive cards, so I'm just gonna play the cards I like, which I already own.
Okay.
So, and that's like the worst possible answer to the question we could have had.
Okay. Burn.
Burn's a good one.
It's the budget option and a good one. Good.
Okay, this is the last one. We're almost out of time. We have like 60 seconds left. This one's from me, from Robert Moore at Destorer3 on Twitter. With the next set coming out and seeing how it's full of legends, will we get a video on Commander Versus with legendary spells, sorcery, and instant spells for an April Fool's, or just a random funny video? I think it'd be hysterical to watch. Maybe. You just gotta watch to find out. I can't give it away too much. Can't give it away too much. But I'll put it this way. As we like to say on Commander Versus, it's our show. We do whatever we want. Ooh. So I'll leave you with that. Okay. That's all the time we have for questions this time. If we didn't get to your questions that you submitted, we will make sure to get them next time. I know there were people that submitted some in chat. We did not have time to get to those. We wanted to give all the questions the appropriate amount of time to answer. So next time we do this, try to get your questions in as early as possible so we can make sure to get to them. Okay, Ollie, you know what time it is.
Yeah, I do. It's time for Question of the Week.
Question of the Week.
Okay. And closing time.
No, just Question of the Week.
Okay.
Okay, so the Question of the Week this week, we're going back to Magic Arena from our first segment. The question is, over the next year, will Magic the Gathering Arena have more viewers on Twitch than Magic Online?
What do you think?
I think it will. I think it's starting today. Today's the first day that you can stream it on Twitch. I think it's going to literally drop an elbow on Magic Online. And the game's in beta. It's still in beta, and I still think it's going to drop bows on Magic Online. I don't like Magic Online. It's not a good viewing experience. Magic Arena, MTGArena is a good viewing experience, and I think we will see that. I think in 6 months, it's going to make it look silly.
Okay. No. I say no. Very, very easily no.
Easily no. Okay.
Easily no. The reason being is because, one, you're playing Rivals versus just two sets. Like, that's not a format. That's not a real format. You're just messing around.
Well, it's not two sets. They released Amonkhet and Hour of Devastation today.
Sure. And
Dominaria is coming out in like a month.
All right, sure. Even after they give all the stuff, you still can't play. Like, let's say you within a year. So within a year, we can only hope they have Standard on there, right?
They will absolutely have Standard on there because in September the format rotates.
All right, Ixalan
and Rivals are already on there.
I'm gonna let you finish. That's
turn. Fine, but you're saying wrong stuff, so I'm not going to let that stand. I got to correct you.
All right. Well, Modern is the biggest format. The biggest, most watched format. True. People are streaming. It's Modern. I think the biggest factor is going to be that you can play Modern on Magic Online, you can play Legacy Magic Online. Now within and the only reason it would switch over to MTGArena is only if the big streamers on Magic Online switch to MTGArena. Now I don't think they have any reason to. They've invested in Magic Online. They have like all this money into it. They have all these decks into it. They have like they're sponsored by X amount of people. They don't have to start from scratch. So I think there'll be some switchovers. I think right now it's new, so maybe it'll get a big boost. But within a year, no. I think it needs more time before it can more time than a year to beat Magic Online.
All right, I think you're wrong. You think you're right. Only one way to find out. You can let us know on Twitter at ThinkTwiceMTG on Twitter, at JParnell1 on Twitter, and at Ali Aintrazi on Twitter. Ali, outside of Twitter, where can people find you?
GatheringMagic.com. My articles come out every Friday. You can view them there. You can also also find me on Twitter, Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Ali Aintrazi. And yeah, that's basically it.
Okay.
Parnell.
So for me, you can obviously again find me at JParnell1 on Twitter. You can also find me on YouTube almost every Wednesday. We're in between seasons right now, but I'm the host of the Commander Versus series. You should definitely follow our channel on YouTube because I'm just saying you should just follow it. There's a holiday coming up that we like to do stuff on. You should follow it. That's all I'm going to say. You can follow the show on Twitter at ThinkTwiceMTG on Twitter, and of course, you can email us directly, thinktwicemtg@gmail.com. Obviously, you're watching our Twitch stream now, but if you're not, if you're listening to this afterward, you can find us. We will be streaming, and I'm actually going to stream right after this is over, and Ollie's going to be streaming at some point too. You can find our stream, twitch.tv/ThinkTwiceMTG. You can also find the show on, of course, YouTube, which is our primary format now that we have our beautiful faces shown up here, as well as SoundCloud and iTunes every week. We want to thank our newest Patreon supporter, Justin C. Thank you for your support. If you would like to support the show and help us get to the tier where we're able to do live episodes more frequently, you can do so, patreon.com/ThinkTwiceMTG. We also want to thank our graphic designer, Amber West. She obviously designed this beautiful overlay for us. You can find more of her work at amberwestdesign.com. And our director and producer, John Choi, who's been in the chat doing his thing the entire time. We also want to thank our Agent of Bolus producers, Daniel Hunt and Josh Lyons. And I want to thank my co-host, Ali Aintrazi. You were the best.
You're the best too, Parnell. And all of yours, you're the best too.
And if you're in the chat right now, or if you're watching live, do not go anywhere. I'm going to be streaming my very first stream ever. Magic: The Gathering Arena. It could be a train wreck. It could be great. Either way, you'll probably want to watch.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
But that's the show for this week, guys. Please tune in next week. We're going to cover more Magic story. We're going to obviously get back to our pop culture segment. For Magic news, we're going to either talk about more Arena. We might be talking about Brawl. Who knows? We haven't decided yet, but you definitely want to tune in next week. Ollie, I love you very much.
Love you too, buddy.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you next time.